Hey everyone, Jarek and Mookie here, going to be doing some more Call of Duty 4. I want to continue on to the question I got in the last video, but I wanted to keep talking about this. I ran out of time. This one came from Maggie, basically saying, what would you do to fix Call of Duty 4's weapon balance, or just balance issues in general? Now, I should probably clarify when I say that, Call of Duty 4 is not a bad game, and I'm not ripping into it. But it does have balance issues. So, I don't think anyone will argue against this.
I love COD4 to death. I'll play it any day, and I'll be the first person to admit there are severe balance issues.
Yeah, I want to talk about the guns this time. So, the glaring issue with the guns, the M16 and the AK are flat out better than every other assault rifle in the game. Or really any other gun in the game, unless you're sniping.
So, hold up. Is that an MP44 I see?
Yes, it is.
I immediately love you forever. Have my children.
I like weapon variety. See, the funny thing is, I always get these comments whenever I mention something about a gun being blatantly better than the others. I get these comments that are like, but I use the G3 and I do great with it, you know, and stuff like that. And it's like, well, that's fantastic. You can do great with one gun, but nothing saying you wouldn't do about 1,000,000 times better if you were using the M16.
Or the AK-47.
Yeah. So the M16 is a difficult thing to fix. I honestly don't think it would be that broken if stopping power wasn't in the game.
Probably not. Who knows?
Because without stopping power, you would no longer have the one burst kill at extreme long ranges. You know, and the M16 wasn't really a problem in, say, Black Ops 1. Neither was the G11, and the G11 just had a faster rate of fire than the M16, but was a little bit weaker.
Well,
I do feel like
Black Ops 1 didn't have stopping power or anything, did it? Like,
nope.
Again, I never played it. Okay. So, like, my question to you is, how balanced is the game if everyone were running around without stopping power?
I feel like without stopping power Juggernaut, the game wouldn't be as bad. The explosive spam would obviously still be a problem then, so you'd have to get rid of the frag ×3 and stuff like that, and the sonic boom. But I still feel like there are still some somewhat major imbalance issues when it comes to the weapons. The AK, I don't think you would really need to do much with it at that point, because it would no longer kill so quickly. I feel like the AK is just a good all-around gun. You know, it feels satisfying to use, so I wouldn't want to neuter the AK at all. We don't need to go overboard, overreact, and nerf everything. That's something that always drives me insane when companies do. DICE is a great example. Battlefield 3, I felt like, had great weapon damage, and then Battlefield 4, they just made every gun weak as hell to try to balance in all the weapons.
And they broke the networking, which was great.
Yeah. And it just feels awful. I hate having to shoot people that many times in a Battlefield game.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It feels like people die a lot faster in COD.
But they do. They do. It takes many less bullets to kill people in Call of Duty than Battlefield. Battlefield 3 killed much faster, but I'm getting off topic. One of the things I would immediately do is either make the G3 fully automatic, or make the G3 do the same damage as the M14 and give it more recoil. You might basically have another AK or another M14, but at least then you wouldn't have a useless gun.
Yeah.
Because as it stands right now, the M16 does 30-40 damage. It's 40 maximum, drops to 30. The AK does 40-30 damage. The G3 does 40-30 damage. So why would I use it?
Well, if you were trying to be all sneaky sniper single shot, but I mean, at the same time, why do that when you can do the same thing with the AK? You know, if you can pace your shots, you can just tap fire it.
And it's super easy to control.
Very easy to control. Personally, I love the AK in this game. Like, I can't stress that enough. And the G3 compared to it is just useless. But okay, the MP44 here. I actually really love this MP44 as well.
I was moving next over to that because the MP44 also does 40-30 damage and has basically the same rate of fire as the AK. So at the same time, it's also somewhat useless because now you can't even put attachments on it. Like, if you could put attachments on this gun, I feel like it would be great. And that's all you would have to do to it.
Interesting about the MP44 is the fact that when you're aiming down sights, you have no weapon sway whatsoever. It's completely still.
I don't like the sights in this gun, not because like the sights themselves are fine, but the way it kicks after you shoot it just blocks your entire screen.
That is annoying, yes.
So it's pretty hard to follow people.
If you land that first shot, I mean, I guess I played more hardcore with the MP44 than I did like vanilla. But yeah, I can definitely see how like standard mode would be harder to track people because you got to land more shots. But like the sights don't sway at all, and I love that. Like you can line up a shot from across the map and not have to worry about compensating for your gun swaying all over the place. But again, I never really messed with it in standard mode, so I can't really have an opinion.
Yeah, you know, like I said, if you could put attachments on it, it would instantly become a lot better. Because if you put a red dot on it, that already fixes the issue of it recoiling into your screen, and then you wouldn't have anything else you'd need to do with it because you essentially just have another AK.
Yeah, I
You
forget
know, and
how
that's
much
fine.
damage did you say it had?
It does 40-30 damage.
So same
that's-
as AK.
Yeah, literally the same as the AK and the M16 and the G3.
Okay, gotcha.
The M14 is, I feel like, how a semi-auto should be. It does 50 damage, drops off to 40. So it'll always be either a 2 or a 3 shot, and with stopping power, it's always a 2 shot. But this is theoretically if we didn't have stopping power, you know? So, you know, I feel like that's about right. That's what it should be, and I feel like the G3 should either be that or just be a copy of the AK. But since we have the MP44, I feel like the G3 should be a M14, basically, because we don't need 3 AKs.
So did Pro Mod get rid of like a lot of these issues that you're talking about?
Pro Mod did a lot of things that just made the game less annoying to play, like having limited snipers per team.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's a lot of the reason I really like Red Orchestra. You only have 1-2 snipers per the entire team, and now the sniper is actually very effective, and not everyone's running around trying to quickscope, but that's also an entirely different situation. Then we get to the G36C, which I really like the gun for a gun, but it's also not very useful because it does 30 damage, drops off to 20, but the M4 also does 30 damage and drops to 20, and the M4 has a 100 RPM faster fire rate. So why would I ever use the G36? You know?
Hold on, there's a G36 in COD4? What are you talking about?
Alright, point taken.
But who uses the G36 in this game? And that's ultimately the problem that we're discussing right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, either make... I don't think you should make it any stronger because it shoots faster than the AK, and that might be a little imbalanced. But again, you'd essentially just have to make a carbon copy of the M4. Just buff the rate of fire a little bit. And, you know, these are basically the fixes that Black Ops 1 took. I feel like Black Ops 2 did a much better job balancing in weapons while making them all feel unique instead of basically having copies of each other. But given what we have now, I don't feel like there's any other way we could do that.
Yeah, it's pretty strange.
And
Pretty weird.
For the most part, all the other weapon classes play out the same way. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to move on to another topic I briefly wanted to talk about. Holy shit, I know I talked about this before in a previous video, but it still amuses me so much. The people get so adamant and argue so much about the like fast kill time versus slow kill time. Because the point I wanted to make and then I forgot to make, did that grenade kill me through the fence? The point I wanted to make and I never did make was that, one, I said this, but it doesn't take more skill or less skill, fast kill time, slow kill time. It is not as solid as just saying, well, Halo has long kill times and Call of Duty has short kill times, thus long kill times take more skill, you know? Halo does take more kill than Call of Duty, but the whole premise of Call of Duty is an accessible, easier shooter.
Yeah, entirely true. Like, Halo's always been a little bit more on the hardcore side of things as far as...
If you ignore Halo 4, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, what? That was a game? There were games after Halo 1?
4 isn't a number, it didn't happen. Yes, we forget about that number. But yeah, you know, it's not that easy. You can't just say that. Because at the same time, by saying faster kill times take much less skill than long kill times and just take no skill in comparison, you were essentially saying that Halo takes more skill than Red Orchestra 2 does, and those are such wildly different games that you can't compare them, and you're also saying Red Orchestra 2 is an easy game to play, which is so laughably stupid. Like, you can't make it that easy. And I would argue with anyone by saying that Red Orchestra 2 takes more skill in that regard, but at the same time, what kind of skill? Like, it's not that easy just to be like, oh, it takes more skill. It's such a different kind of game, and I did talk about that in another video where it's like, the way you control the map is different, the way you move throughout the map is different, the whole game is different. So when you have fast kill times, you need to design the game in an entirely different way.
Yeah, that's like making the comparison that like Smash takes more skill than, I don't know, freaking what is it, Street Fighter 2 or something? Or like those crazy Marvel versus Capcom games that people were all over. Like, they're different games, so you can't really compare them, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
the
And that's why you got people like me that,
requirements-
like, I love Smash, you know, as long as it's the older, faster Smash, you know, Melee and PM. And I love Rivals of Aether, but I am not into fighting games at all. You know?
Yeah,
I
they're
have no
just
interest
different.
in them because they're so different. Honestly, what would make me like fighting games more is if they started implementing more Smash stuff. Like, if DI was in regular fighting games, imagine how different that would be. And I know people that
It
like
would
fighting
be-
games are just like, God, no, please. But, you know, it's just so different, and that's what would appeal to me.
Wart Jarek Blood Dragon.
Dude, I either run with that tag or the roar tag. But hey, there's been some Call of Duty 4 footage. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.